Now we are ready to move to the second part of the training. We will speak about the creation of Google Form. If I go to my drive and click New, then More, I'll find Google Forms. Then I will select a blank form. Once it's loaded, we will have this interface. First of all, we can change the title of the form. If we click at it, it will be writable, editable. So we can call training and we can give a description. If we have made a study, we can write why we have created this study, or we can thank people for their interest. After that, we will have this banner which have options, so we can add a new question. We can import questions if we have similar questions used in another form. We can create a title and description. For an example, we can start with the demographic, so we can specify that this is a demographic, these are demographic questions. We can add a picture, we can ask about this picture, or we can add a video, which means after watching the video you can ask certain questions, or you can collect opinions of people about this video. Or we can add a section, which is a whole new part of our study or our form. So let's try with a simple question. This is a simple question. So as you can see, the Google is suggesting to us options to add. We can add them like this, as simple as that, or we can write our own options. Okay, so this is a multiple choice question. It comes by default. If you click here, you will find the types of questions that you can use. You can use short answer, it's just for short text. You can use it for names. You have paragraph, which is a long text. It can take more than the short answer in terms of characters. You have the multiple choices. Checkbox, which means you can actually select. So option 2, you can select more than one option. And you have drop down list, which will drop down. It will not appear for you, it will drop down and you can select. We will have a look on each one of them later. We will have a file upload. You can ask for a file, linear scale, and others. So let's try to add a question which can take the Likert scale, which ranges from strongly disagree to strongly agree. Let's say this is a statement which can take this scale. So I will say that I want it to be a multiple choice question, and I will start with strongly disagree. Okay, now disagree, neutral, then agree, and after that strongly agree. Now our question is ready and we can share it with people, and since it's a multiple choice question, they need to select one of these. Now what we need to do is to make sure that we tick this one if the people must answer the question. Now the aim of this course is for research purposes, so people must answer all the questions when it comes to Likert scale. If they skip one of them, it will affect the study somehow. But in some cases, if you ask about, let's say, if they have any further comment, you can leave it not required, because not all the people will have comment. So now I will take it as required, and once I share it, there will be a star next to it saying that it's a required question. Now we are done with a simple question, simple name, and now we can go to this section which will help us to customize the theme and actually viewing it. So we can customize it by changing the color, or we can add a picture, and once we click at the view, it will give us a view version of the form, and we can see that the name is training and this is the questions, and we can select only one of them, and once we click submit, the answer will come to our section, to our control panel. Now let's change this question into a drop-down list and let's review it. So I believe that the drop-down will make it nicer, more presentable. So now I can select the option and I can click submit. So my advice for you is to select drop down instead of multiple choice. The other thing that I wanted to speak about is an option which is hiding in this section. When we click on this section, we can give a description for the question. If it's like something that people might misunderstand, we can select this option, go to a section based on an answer. So in this part, if we click at it, we will make conditional questions, which means based on that answer of that question, people will be asked to go to a different section. Let's try it out. But first of all, I will add a new question. I will drag it from here up so it can become the first one. I think it's better to drag this down. Okay, so the question is, this is the question, and yes and no. So the whole survey is about job and training. So if a person said no, we cannot get help from that person. Just like when we make a study about Facebook and we ask them, do you have Facebook? And they say no, then we ask them, how many hours you spend on Facebook? What are the reasons for you to use the Facebook? Actually, they don't have it to answer. So in this case, we will select from here and we will say go to a section based on an answer. For the answer no, we will say submit form. It means they will not see the other questions. Now, what if they have a job? In this case, we must create a section. And as you can see from here, one of the options is section. So we click at it, we will have section 2, which is job questions. And the first question is, my job is fun, do you agree? The second question, how long have you been in this job? So in here, they need to actually write the answer. So when I go to this question, if they said yes, I would say go to a section which is called job questions. Done. Now let's give it a try. As you can see, not all the questions are appearing. So the question 1 is appearing, which is, do you have a job? So this is some sort of a validation. If I say yes and next, I will go to the questions related to job. Okay, if I say no, I will go to thank you, the form is submitted. Okay, so this is the meaning of conditional questions. And furthermore, let me show you the differences between required and not. In here, this question is not required and this question is required. So if we review it, we will see that this question I can skip, but in here I cannot skip this question. So this is the difference between required and not. And this is the second part of our